Welcome everybody to the Brownsville Museum of Fine Art. My name is Karl Lieck and I'm the Art Education Coordinator of the museum. And we are very proud to present our current exhibit entitled Boca Chica to Mars. And it is in honor of the South Texas SpaceX team, brought to you by a conglomeration of local photography from our local photographers of SpaceX and Boca Chica. And so we also like to thank the sponsor of this exhibit, particularly the Brownsville Community Foundation, the City of Brownsville, and also we have these prototype models done by Dr. Alfonso Moreno, a physician from Florida, who was kind enough to put these wonderful models together. On opening night, we were very fortunate to sell them all. So it was a lot of money raised to help the museum and to carry on shows like this for the community. I'm standing right now in front of this very tall photograph of the super heavy Falcon 9. This rocket ship actually carried one of Elon Musk's Tesla cars. It was the Roadster. And now when this rocket did take off, it had the super boosters, which once it propelled the rocket into space to let go of the car, the rocket launchers came back to Earth so they could be used again. So this is a new, novel idea to save money, but also reusable rocket launchers, which was a great idea that Elon Musk came up with. He doesn't consider himself a scientist, but he calls himself a technologist. He is an engineer, and so if something fails, he's back to the drawing board to correct those mistakes and to try again. And these are actually the photographs of the Tesla sports car with a mock astronaut behind the wheel. And so it was a wonderful idea, a rather capricious idea, but it was also a great promotion and to get the idea that we should use alternative energy, cleaner energy, and so what better way than to put one of his electric cars into space. So his number one goal is to create habitat for humanity on other planets and other moons, and to expand the horizons, to go beyond not only our solar system, but into our galaxy and the universe. So very lofty ideas, and I just mentioned about those prototype rocket ships we have on display here. So if you follow me over here, now we're going to come over here and I'm going to show you one of these wonderful models done by Dr. Moreno. He's a physician from Florida, and he was very instrumental in helping us put this show. This is the Falcon Heavy with the Starman and the Tesla Roadster, which is on top of here. And it was an idea of a young lady from Brownsville, Texas, and she had read an article in which Elon Musk was being interviewed, and he kind of put a question out there to the public saying, what is the silliest thing I could put out into space? And so this young lady had the idea by contacting through social media. She asked Elon Musk, why don't you put one of your Tesla Roadster into space to promote the idea of clean energy and electric car? And so he took her up on the idea. And so at the top of this rocket carried the Roadster, as you can see, that Dr. Moreno made on this digital illustration on 110-pound cardstock paper. No detail was spared, having the rocket being released into space. There's a mock astronaut, like he's driving the car, and it's there floating around our atmosphere for an indefinite amount of time. So again, the idea of reusable rocket launchers, taking this ship out into space and then successfully landing these rocket launchers back to Earth to be used again, which is a new, novel idea that Elon Musk came up with. So this is, again, one of many rocket ships that were built on 110-pound cardstock paper that Dr. Moreno, as a hobby, likes to put together. And on opening night, all these rockets sold to help raise money for the museum and for other causes like this. Now, I'm going to come over here. We're going to have a look at the Starhopper. And this is a test unit vehicle The area of Brownsville knows very well about this. It had kind of a rocky start at Boca Chica Beach. While it was being constructed, a windstorm knocked it over on its side, and so they had to make the necessary repairs, but it all ended very well because the Starhopper had a very successful test launch on Boca Chica Beach. There's some film footage on one of our looping videos in the main gallery, very dramatically showing the Starhopper taking off about 500 feet in the air and then coming back down near the coastline of Boca Chica, landing successfully. And so it was a very thrilling moment for all the SpaceX crew here in South Texas. And so we're very happy to have this SpaceX here, developing new ways to travel into space. And the Starhopper was a great start. All right, if you'd like to follow me, we're going to enter the Boca Chica Gallery. Welcome to the Boca Chica Gallery. We're going to talk a little bit about this series of photographs. These photographs are from Boca Chica Beach, taken by some local photographers. This one here is the construction of the Space Hopper, taken by Miguel Roberts. He is a photographer for the Brownsville Herald, has been for many years. And so we're going to show you the order in which these ships were built until their completion. All right, we have this photograph here by Mary McConaughey. And as you can see, this is the Falcon 9 under construction. You see a beautiful rainbow in the background. And so as with the Starhopper, we showed them in various stages of construction until they are completed. This is one of my personal favorites by Karl J. Very dramatic photo taken from the bottom, showing the rocket ship pointing up into the sky to its destination in near construction, near finished construction of this rocket ship. It's one of my favorites. The colors are extraordinary. And recently, Elon Musk was here at Boca Chica Beach giving an explanation of the ship and all the other aspirations connected with SpaceX. It was a very exciting moment at Boca Chica Beach, and we're so glad to have this in our backyard to help into space exploration in this new renaissance space travel. All right, and here we have some photographs by Mary McConaughey. She was recently featured in the Atlantic Journal, and these pictures, as you can see, were taken at Boca Chica Beach, and the black and white photographs give it a timeless quality and also a very powerful metaphorical image of the past mixing with the future. In the foreground, we see Mary on a horse, and then in the background, we see the Starhopper, which represents the future 21st century technology. And so, very powerful message behind these photos, and personally, these are some of my favorite. Now in the Elon Musk gallery, we have some family portraits of the Musk family. On my left here, we have a portrait of Elon Musk, and over here we have a picture with him, with his mother, Maya. And she was Canadian born. She was a model and a nutritionist, and but she really stressed education to Elon at a very young age. By the time he was 8 years old, she made sure that he read an entire encyclopedia from A to Z by the time he was 8 years old. So an amazing feat, and so it was an accomplishment that was just the beginning of an illustrious career. Now, over here, we can see Elon Musk timeline here. In 1971, Elon Musk was born in South Africa. And in 1980, his parents divorced. He decided to live with his father. His education always came first. His mother insisted that he learn the entire encyclopedia, reading it all from A to Z by the time he was 8 years old. So already his mother, Maya, was setting lofty goals for her son. In 1986, he decides his main mission is to save humanity. And he went to the University of Pennsylvania in '92. And in 1995, he launched his first company called Zip2 after dropping out of college. He raised some money, about $5 million, and he invested it in PayPal. And this is one of 4 companies that he opened up that were billion-dollar companies. No one has ever done that before. Not only was PayPal, he invested the money into SpaceX, which is the second company he formed, and then there was Solar City, and then Tesla, the electric cars. So quite a feat for a person before the age of 50. As I said, in 2002, he sold PayPal for $250 million, invested that money in SpaceX. In 2004, his twin sons are born. And then in 2006, he has triplets. So he has 5 children who he travels around the world. He doesn't like to be alone. And so he likes the company. And then also we go all the way to year 2020. And of course we see also 2019, Musk presents the new Cybertruck. So he's got a lot on his plate. To me, he's a modern day maverick, very much like Howard Hughes, the aviator. He was in many things, master of many, and a great maverick and a visionary. And so this pretty much illustrates where Elon Musk started and where he is now and where he's heading. Now we move across over here, opposite of the timeline, and this is the future according to Elon Musk. And it starts with the year 2020. And as you can see, he says Tesla will create robo-taxis, where a taxi will appear in front of your house or wherever you call one, and you get in and you tell the taxi where to take you. There's no driver. So that's something very interesting to see how that pans out. By 2023, electric planes a possibility. And in the year 2027, almost all US cars will be autonomous. That means no driver. And Neuralink will provide brain interfaces for healthier human brains. By 2033, solar will be the main source of power. By 2040, he hopes that artificial intelligence will outperform humans. And then by 2060, right, 40 years from now, he hopes the first humans will colonize Mars. Now, long after we're gone, but for future generations, in the year 2120, he hopes SpaceX will shuttle 1 million colonists to Mars. So these are pretty lofty goals, but if Elon Musk is behind them, anything is possible. Now we enter our Mars gallery, and again, it features many wonderful photographs of SpaceX Boca Chica by local photographers. And I want to draw attention, over here we have 2 coins representing the Roman Emperor Caracalla. And the description reads, silver denarius, or dinero, money, with Mars posing over helmet. And these are dated 198 to 217 AD. So these are very ancient coins. Dr. Garza told me they're over 2,500 years old. And of course, the planet Mars is named after the god of war. Also, he had other gifts. He was pattern of the people, guardian of soldiers and farmers, and destruction and masculinity. Very important god in both the Greek and the Roman mythologies. I like to draw attention to some of these land rovers we have been sending to Mars for almost 20 years. We have Opportunity and Curiosity, and these rovers work 12-hour spurts. When the sun goes down, the solar panels are deactivated, and then it begins on sunrise on another land rover on the other side of Mars to continue the work. So 24 hours a day. In this case, Mars is very similar to our Earth day. It is 24 hours and 40 minutes. And these land rovers have been a source of valuable information for scientists, discovering new things about its soil and its properties. We know now for sure that Mars at one time had a lot of water on it. We can see that with the dried out ocean, lake, and riverbeds. And it's a possibility that much of this water went underground. And so there is a possibility of organic life living under the surface of Mars, but we have yet to see that. So anyway, these machines continue to send valuable scientific information back to Earth, and we are sure that we're going to discover some more surprising things about Mars. Here, as you can see, we have an atlas of Mars, the red planet. It is actually the second smallest planet in the solar system, next to Mercury being the smallest and also nearest Earth. It's the fourth planet in the solar system, and even though it is rather small, it still has the same land mass as Earth, only without the ocean. As I stated earlier, we can see that Mars at one time did have a lot of water, and it's all dried up now. Mars does sport two poles, a north and a south pole, like Earth. And the Earth day is 24 hours, and a Martian day is 24 hours and 40 minutes. So very similar. A Martian year is equated to about 2 Earth years, which is about 686 days. So it takes, obviously, a little longer for Mars to go around the Sun. And so there's two outstanding features about Mars. It has the tallest volcanic mountain in the solar system, and it's called Olympus Mons. And it's about 2.5 times higher than Mount Everest. So it's pretty tall, about 60,000 feet. Now, further to the south, we see a big tear, or a chasm, that was called Valle Marineris. And at one time, volcano and plate tectonics just ripped this huge gash into the surface of Mars. It goes very deep, up to almost 4 miles. So it makes our Grand Canyon look like a pothole. The length of Valle Marineris is about the length of the United States, going from California to New York. So about 2,500 miles. So it's a big tear in the surface of Mars. Mars does sport 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos, very tiny. Phobos being the larger one, but only about 1/200th of the size of our own moon. And one of the more popular theories of the origins of these 2 moons is that they were once part of the asteroid belt, but Jupiter's powerful gravity pushed them out and into Mars orbit. Now, one day, millions of years from now, Mars will be moonless. Deimos, the tiny 6-millimeter moon, is just drifting off into space, away from Mars. And Deimos is on, actually Phobos is on a collision course, moving 2 meters every year towards the planet Mars. So in about 100 million years, it will either crash into the Martian surface, or it will be torn up by the gravity and form a beautiful ring around Mars. And who knows, maybe later on, Jupiter may push out some more. Also, there are a lot of dust devils on Mars, and they have been recording a lot of earthquakes, or in this case, Marsquakes, from 3-4 on magnitude. So some fairly powerful earthquakes or Marsquakes going on the surface of Mars. Scientists think that it's a slow cooling period of Mars and causing the surface to crack. And so we learn new things about Mars. Hopefully one day we will have a human colony there and expand our influence across the solar system and even beyond.
Hello, my name is Diane Ramirez, Executive Director of the Brownsville Museum of Fine Art. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I want to thank Dr. Diane Garza, Director of the Brownsville Community Foundation, and all our sponsors for putting together this beautiful exhibit. We're partners with the City of Brownsville to celebrate the National Space Day, honoring our South Texas SpaceX team. I hope you enjoy what we just prepared for you.
Hope you enjoyed the virtual tour. Hope to see you soon. Stay safe.